Hong Kong, the Pearl of the Orient, known for its stunning waterfronts, a roaring economy, and an arsenal of skyscrapers. As the territory changed hands from major powers, it's always retained an independent self-identity. Hard to describe, remarkable to experience. This is a high-rolling kind of town, so I'm gonna crack open my wallet a little bit to explore the wealth in this city. Not to eulogize affluence, but to understand the humanity within it. However, I'm also gonna get in the cracks and the crevices and find communities that are going almost completely unseen. It will be an exploration of a place known for ultimate acquisition. From art to cars to rare wines. But also a place of extreme forfeit, where attachments are shed to find divinity. It will be a journey of air and water, of fine dining and alternative cuisine, of combat real and performed, of people and of spirits. I'm Jonathan Legg. I'm an explorer, a globetrotter on a continual quest for the unusual, exotic, and adventurous side of life. My destination is the core, the very beating heart of a place. It's the search for the wildest, most unpredictable experiences. Moments that widen and deepen our perspective of the world we live in. What happens on our journey, I don't know. But one thing I do know is this: we're sticking to the road less traveled. Hong Kong is the fourth densest territory in the world, something that's not lost on the streets, packed with people, enterprises, and energy. And this is where I begin my exploration. A walk is the perfect method for sizing up a scene and looking for a little inspiration. It's on this walk that I come across this curious, curative shop. Now, I've never dabbled with Chinese medicine, but some people think there's something to it. Let's give it a shot. Chinese medicine has been around for almost 3,000 years. It's based on the idea of the complementary forces of yin-yang and meridians connecting parts of the body. What's the difference between Chinese medicine and Western medicine?
Looking for your body, your whole body, only not one part. For example, if you get cold, in Chinese, we have lung, heart, liver, and kidney. And then see what part of the weakness.
Right, I got it. So Western medicine is targeted just at one thing, but Chinese treats the whole.
Yes.
The whole body.
Yes, whole body.
So how about just some Chinese medicine for general health, or energy, more energy,
Yes.
general health?
We have some tonic that is different from Western doctor.
Okay, what can you prescribe for me?
The ginseng.
Ginseng?
Yes.
Can I get some medicine for more health?
Sure. Give you one dose.
Give me one dose? Yeah.
Yeah.
I fully intend to bring it to them. Hey, okay. Whether or not this works, it's pretty interesting to be inside of this this joint. Got all kinds of busy hubbub, drawers opening up, people popping off the subway to get a quick cup of herbal tea, others going to see these doctors for consultation. It's and a ton of jars and drawers with There's a plethora of things inside of them you've never seen before. Bazing bazang! There it is, my Chinese medicine energy-giving concoction. Power up! Now I'm excited to try this, but a word of caution. Scientific studies have shown some negligible results, pseudoscience, and dangers to Chinese medicine. On the other hand, millions of people endorse it. So before you try it, use your judgment. One way or another, it's a cool experience to pop your head in one of these joints.
One awesome thing about Hong Kong is that a walk can quickly go from urban to wild. The territory is full of green hills, and in those forests, relics from the past can be uncovered.
Remains of an old battery. You know, the attack on Hawaii gets all the attention, but 4 hours after Pearl Harbor, Japan came to Hong Kong, easily defeating a resistance of British, Indian, Canadian, and Chinese defenders. 2 weeks later, a British colony surrendered for the first time to an invading force at the Japanese de facto headquarters in the Peninsula Hotel. This is clearly the mount where a 9-inch gun would have swiveled. And you gotta love the tenaciousness of life right in the center, right at the rotation point. A tree blooms up. Once was an agent of destruction, and now it's the genesis of life.
Soon the skies grow dark. A typhoon arrives and batters the territory. Even as it tapers, the rain puts a damper on my walk. Or does it?
Most of us view rain as a little bit of an inconvenience, but Hong Kong's favorite son wouldn't mind at all. In fact, he admonished us to be like water.
To explore this philosophy further, I find a unique spot tucked in the bowels of the city.
I'm Jonathan. Yeah.
Here, Master Sammy Ng runs a joint that's part shrine to the legend and part gritty gym. Is he the right dude for the job? I think he is.
Jeet Kune Do from the very shortcut to fighting.
Short time, shortcut.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
This one, the Taekwondo, ask here.
Yeah.
No good.
No.
But mostly, my sifu talking me for A, B.
Yeah.
A
okay.
and a B type.
All right. A.
From here.
Right.
You diverse system. You the Kung Fu.
Right.
No for the 1, 2, 3, 4, no good. Maybe my fighting 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, outside. Gun bang.
Yeah.
Diverse system.
You get rid of all the
Yeah.
extra movements, and it's just immediate attack.
Yeah.
So can you show me a few exercises, techniques?
Yeah, okay, no problem.
Wow. How cool is this to be in Hong Kong, learning about Bruce Lee's methods of fighting? Although if I understood the master correctly, the philosophy is a little bit like Zen Buddhism, where they say, if you meet Buddha on the road, kill him. As to mean, don't get too caught up on any one figure or any one style. Jeet Kune Do is a method of getting the results you want, getting a fighting style that's effective for you. That being said, I don't know what he's going to teach me, but let's see if I can get something that's effective for me. Ready?
We run through some drills. Sometimes it's slow enough for me to grasp. Other times, Sammy's moves are like lightning strikes. All I can do is close my eyes and hope for the best.
Turn around. This is the double puzzle. One hand protect my here. This outside.
Comes
Inside,
up?
no, that's me.
Oh, yeah.
Drop hand. The power. 1, 2, and then push down. This way. One more. That's motion. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now one more time, try again. Now, this one. One,
right.
2, 3, 4. You see?
Yeah.
This is passive. Okay.
But he's a good-natured fellow, eager to share technique. Well, that was some practical street fighting advice, but let's face it, I'm not really a bruiser. I'd prefer to make peace at all costs. However, Bruce Lee himself did say, "My style of fighting is no fighting." I think what he meant is avoid it at all costs. If you have to fight, do the minimal. But I have a different interpretation of my style of fighting is no fighting. And I'll show you what it is right now. Just down the road is another studio. This one dedicated to the art of fighting without fighting. Do you see what I mean? Hong Kong is ground zero for the action star. Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, Chow Yun-fat. Around every star are these guys, making them look good. Now, can they make me look good? The guys put me through the paces. First, how to attack.
The most basic way is to go through from stacking, where it's just like when my hands is right in front of his face and he does the reaction. That's the really simple way, boom, to sell a hit. A different way.
So you're about, well, like this far?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we try to keep as close as possible, but also a safe distance. So just maybe like a few inches away would be enough.
Now, how to take a hit and look convincing.
Yeah, we try to use the soft part of your forearm to make contact with another flat surface of your hand. So when you block, it doesn't hurt contact.
Right, you're not curving as much.
Exactly.
Right?
And then there's also like kicking and punching where we actually touch. So, and then he does the reaction. So if I'm actually hitting it in deep, then he'll be taking it really heavy. So, but just like you have to like think about stopping your hand just before. So it's like boom. So it's just touching. It's almost like hey, but look at this.
It's really interesting seeing this broken down in a movie. These guys are so flawless that you never really consider that these are stuntmen. It just seems like you're sold on the action. And now when you look at it carefully, you can see that there is this brief moment where they're protecting themselves, still at great risk, before they sell the action. That, yeah, I've just been blown up by a bomb or kicked down by a massive spinning kick. It really is a very nuanced and risky art form. Overall, it was a good sesh with a bunch of fun-loving guys. True artists who are the backbone of any good action scene. I'd love to keep monkeying around in the gym, but I've made some appointments to a new set of places. A little glimpse into the high life, where the best of everything is bought and sold. Now, as promised, I'm gonna take a peek at the high life of Hong Kong, a territory that has blossomed under the flow of big money. Now, where do I start? How about the Icon Hotel, which has an attraction anyone can see for free? This is Asia's largest indoor vertical garden. Over 8,000 plants and 71 species. You just walk in the lobby and check it out. Upstairs on the 28th floor, things get a bit more exclusive, with Michelin-rated food served at Above and Beyond. Of course, with Hong Kong's famous skyline as the backdrop. Have you ever seen lobster like this before? With gold flakes, black truffles from Italy, and egg white. Wow, That's interesting. You've got that lobster flavor that you would expect, but also this creaminess that comes from that egg and the way it's cooked, which you wouldn't expect from lobster, and a little earthy touch from the truffles. What a unique combination. And what a time to be up here eating. All the lights coming on across the way, across Victoria Harbor. This city is full of stunning views, and this hotel right here is no exception. In fact, I go ahead and splurge on a bunch of high-end restaurants. In the Langham Hotel's 3 Michelin star rated Cantonese restaurant, Tang Court, Chef Kwong invites me into his kitchen to cook a signature lobster dish in a gigantic wok. All right. Looks like all the measurements are just by feel. Like there's no cups or special measuring devices. Just got to know what the right amount is. Oh, that's it. I feel like I'm one step behind. Chopsticks. All right. Oh, all right. This piece goes there, and then this piece over there. Okay. Yeah, this massive wok definitely says serious chef. Not too shabby. Which one was done by the chef, and which one was done by the TV show host? This is for taking it off the thing, and this one's for consuming. All right, let's give it a shot. Sweet Lord in heaven. I'll tell you what, I hate to tell those guys in those little shacks in Maine, but I've never had lobster that good. Oh, it's thick. The theme of the high life continues. In the Peninsula Hotel, I follow up these amazing dishes with a trip to the rooftop, where actor/pilot Michael Wong takes me on a spin of the territory, a place that just begs to be seen from above. Over there we've got the old airport. Hong Kong's really an amazing mix of these aqua blue bays, super urban metropolis cityscape, and green jungly hills. It's quite a contrast. You've got the sea, you've got the lush forest, and you've got uber metropolis all in one tiny package. I've certainly had a blast and ate some phenomenal cuisine, but I don't feel as if I've cut that deeply into the wealthy scene. I need a new angle. Then, back at the restaurant, it occurs to me that that angle has been resting in my hand.
The name of my company is Acamerel and Condit. We're the Asia division of this company. This is almost a 200-year-old company that started in 1820.
The wines to be auctioned sit in an ultra-secure, temperature-controlled storage vault. I am surrounded by millions of dollars of fermented grape juice.
The wine comes in here, and we do a sorting. We lot the wine so they get settled in here, get ready for the auction.
Let me ask you this: what separates a bottle of Petrus from a good $50 bottle of wine?
The acidity, the sugar, the alcohol, and the tannin. I mean, these 4 elements has to be balanced in order to have a great wine. You can't have one element overpower the other. For example, if you have a wine that is, has a very high alcohol content, when you drink this wine, all you're going to get is that alcohol burning your nose. So to me, that's not a great wine. You want to be able to taste everything. You know, wine glasses also make a difference. If you're going to spend all that money for a great bottle of wine, you want to have the right tool to drink it with.
So drinking a Petrus out of a coffee cup is like listening to Mozart on your clock radio.
Right.
Right glass with the right wine.
Andrew certainly dropped a lot of knowledge on me, but it's knowledge bobbing on a flow of honest enthusiasm.
For me, it's always, when I taste the best wine for the first time, I can almost hear the angels sing. It's a wow experience.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, you know.
I can see your passion. I appreciate that.
Yes.
But they're not just buying wine in Hong Kong. There are more big markets, like supercars. Looks like we're in the right neighborhood. You know, just a parking spot in this part of the city would cost you about 400,000 US dollars. This must be our garage. Lamborghinis, Ferrari, interesting one here. Doesn't seem like it fits, but this is an Aston Martin Signet. Huge flop for Aston Martin. They hope to sell 4,000 or 5,000. I think they only sold less than 200. But now if you own one, collector's item. And as I understand, people in this city, they're moving away, the wealthy are moving away from just buying a new sports car, which any Joe Schmo with money can buy, and into moving something collectible, where you've got to have the savvy to know where it is in the market and finagle the purchase. Janice allows me to poke around the rest of the garage.
So in Hong Kong, vanity plates is very popular. So a couple of years ago, he also went into the auction. So the Department of Transportation auctions off car license plate for every month. And so you have to register the plate and see if they're available, and then go to this auction to bid for it. And a couple of years ago, he bid this for, I think, 10,000 US dollars.
Wow.
Just for the plate.
The license plate cost 10,000 US dollars.
Yep.
Wow. Is that the most expensive license plate ever?
No, they go up to 1 or 2 million US dollars.
For a license plate?
For a license plate.
Wow. I know people pay for vanity plates, but I didn't realize they'd pay $2 million for a vanity plate. Several more floors of collectibles. Quite a selection. What else could an affluent person desire? Well, this is Duddles, a restaurant designed specifically as a hub for buyers, sellers, collectors, and creators of art. Honestly, I don't quite get a lot of Chinese contemporary art, but there's a reason for that. It often expresses political opinions that can't safely be put to words. Ideas that will only resonate with a savvy few. Back in my hippie beach pad, I've got art made by a friend, I've got eclectic stuff from the boardwalk, but the whole high-end scene has always eluded me. I know nothing about it. What drives people to make it such an integral part of their lives, often at great expense? There's only one way to find out. It's a question that leads me to the home of Alan Lowe, a high-end art collector. You got a lot of art here, huh? How many pieces in the house?
About 15, 20 works.
15,
I'd
20?
say, yeah, big and small.
Wow.
Yeah.
This one's eye-catching.
She does these sort of really amazing kind of staged, choreographed situation that almost looks real, which is...
It does.
Which is what's kind of really intense and kind of almost scary about it.
Yeah. So, for example, what drew you to this piece and made you think, I need to put this up in my house?
I think collecting can be addictive. I think, you know, obviously, you know, one thing needs to lead to another, but obviously, you know, I don't really think practical, so oftentimes we end up with works that can never fit in the lift or the stairs or so.
Oh, interesting.
We still have a lot of stuff in storage.
I'm looking at this and I see a ton of white space, and then it collapses in a few dimensions deep to Skeletor,
This random monument.
He-Man's nemesis. I don't know, or a dead knight, I don't know, still in his helmet. What does this say to you?
This is a work by Cyprien Gaillard, who's a young French artist. He looks at these sort of like forgotten monuments, and then he kind of documents them, and then it's sort of like a reflection of sort of his interest in time and remembrance.
That's something about both paintings and photography, is in life there's such a deluge of information coming at us every second that the artist, the photographer says stop and just look at this one thing. This is something I would never think to buy, and I would gather the majority of the audience would probably not think to buy a piece of art like this. The free bird tied and...
Wishbone. Actually, this is that's the title of the work.
Wishbone.
Yeah.
So I know a bunch of aspiring and climbing artists in Los Angeles. You know, what advice would you give to them as a collector on how to make something one day that you and your contemporaries would buy?
I think market, you can never quite follow the market. I think I think for the artists who do that, I think they're going down like a really slippery slope. I think it's really dangerous.
It's crystal clear that Alan is passionate about his art, but I'm not so sure I got his motivation. You're not necessarily choosing a piece to complement your house.
Not really.
So what's the motive? Is it like it's like you won a zero-sum game and you got this thing that nobody else has? Or what's the thrill?
I guess it's kind of a connection that you're looking for, and I guess it's hard to quantify, but I guess, no, I don't know. I mean, it's sort of it's also an evolving situation. It's kind of a journey.
So I look for those answers here. A high-end gallery where people like Alan buy their art. So, tell me about this one, and also tell me about the whole art scene in Hong Kong, the high-end art scene.
The city of Hong Kong is a city where art is a very important part of daily life. There is a lot of circulation of money, a lot of possibilities, and a lot of people that are keen in supporting and discovering art.
So take this piece here. What made you decide this would be a good piece for your gallery?
This is the central piece of Zhao Gan because it summarizes a lot of irony and ideas that he normally develops in his painting. And of course you have the central face that is a mask, and it's a mask that reproduces his face, so it's a sort of a self-portrait. And the irony of having a bird on his head.
What does that say to you, a bird on the head? Don't take yourself too serious? Something like that.
Something like that,
yeah.
Yeah.
So what separates a guy who sells a painting for $500 from a guy who sells a painting for $40,000?
Well, it's definitely what the gallery, what the artist has been producing in his career. You don't arrive to price a work of $40,000 as soon as the artist finishes the academy and starts painting. It's a theme that he brings on and develops throughout his career. The style, the content, of course, they're all addition. But an artist is a great artist when he creates something that is unique. And even if you can reproduce something similar, it won't be the same.
In general, in an artist's career, what percentage is talent, what percentage is luck, and what percentage is who you know?
You do need to be very talented, of course, so that's the majority. So I would say, of course, 60-70% you need to be talented. And then of course you need to know people as well as to be a little bit lucky.
Right.
It's like a 10 or 20. Like.
My art knowledge is growing, but it feels as if the central question is only partially answered. So the quest must go backwards one step. The buyer, the dealer, the artist. This is your studio, huh?
This is my studio.
That's your studio. Ah, yeah. Space in Hong Kong, right?
Yeah.
It's a constant issue. Do you have a theme?
My theme is actually talking about the emotions or the relationship between people. So I use objects or some kind of kinetic movement to talk about our relationship with people, friends, family, or love persons. Yeah.
I like it. Cool. So is it around here?
Yeah, it's here.
Oh, it's there.
My work is quite compact, but highly conceptual. So I talk about this piece first.
Okay.
So it should be hanging on the wall. And then this one has the electricity here.
Okay.
And then when I plug it, then the light will go through here and make it bright. So it's like how people lighten up the other person and become very codependent or depending on each other, and without the light here it will die.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's the other bulb that's bringing all the brightness to that bulb.
Yeah, it's
just as in certain human relationships. So what have I learned? An artist creates a body of heartfelt pieces. The gallery notices and presents them. The buyer resonates with the emotion and must have it, for reasons that are sometimes hard to articulate. In the process, millions of dollars change hands in Hong Kong. The flow of this robust connoisseur economy is creation, trade, acquisition. But this is not the only flow happening in the city. Remarkably, there are rumors of a people here who believe in an almost antithetical current. Awareness, knowledge, and detachment. It's a belief system that says you've got to give it all away to truly succeed in the grand cosmic game. And down a stretch of a narrow Kowloon street, I find these people. This is a Jain temple, a belief system born out of India, like Buddhism. But unlike Buddhism, it never rose to public popularity. At its most devout, it's much too extreme for the mainstream to swallow.
We believe in rebirth. Karma is created by yourself. Your own karma is created by yourself. The way I talk to you, my body language, my attitude, how I behave with you, is all basis of the karma.
If I was to see the most devoted Jain, what would he or she look like?
First thing is renunciation of the materialistic world. You find basically in a saint, he is detached himself from everything. He's only doing his from pure soul cleaning.
No possessions.
No possession of any kind. As long as he believes in Jainism, he follows the principles of Jainism, and he believes that 100% total non-violence.
100% non-violence. Now there are some Jain rituals I understand, like sweeping the floor of living creatures to avoid crushing them, or covering your mouth so to not accidentally consume life. On the other hand, there are many Jain rituals I don't get at all. But the main concept is becoming clear.
This is the main guru giving a talk. I was confused in the temple to see the presence of gods. 24 gods. It doesn't seem like the kind of philosophy that would have deities. But now I understand. These aren't top-down creator gods who made the world and then visited the world in human skin. Rather, It's the other way around. These 24 gods were humans who had wives and husbands, drank alcohol, worried about money, and little by little, over the course of many lifetimes, they let go of all of that to reach nirvana. And so, we can become like them because they were once like us. It's not a top-down system, it's a bottom-up. And everybody has that capacity to reach divinity.
How fascinating is this tiny community aiming for detachment in a city that's all about acquisition and gain? Now, judging from the gold chains, this city is compressing a little bit upon their standards. But these guys are self-aware.
And there are people like this today who've given away all their possessions. They walk around with a little clay bowl.
If you want to get into that, then you have to go back to India.
In India. So why haven't you taken that path?
Because I'm still attached to the materialistic world. I still have attachment to my family. I still have attachment to all the money. The greed is still not conquered by me.
And who am I to judge? I too am compromised, but I'd like to believe I'm on a path. Maybe not the same one as the Jains, but in the end, we're both looking for a sort of transcendence.
Wow, that was really interesting. This is a heck of a city to take a non-possession detachment from material things vow. But I see the point. The desire to acquire possessions, it was what drives the global economy. But is it good for your soul to connect your identity with the things you own? I don't think so. But separating it, that's quite a chore that might take many lifetimes.
You know what is good for the soul? A romping outdoor adventure that might transport me into another dimension. Wait a minute. You can do this in Hong Kong? Now it's time to give the city a break. A ferry ride out of town will quickly open up a whole new world, yet still Hong Kong. I imagined this land as pure metropolis, but Hong Kong is a dichotomy. Two worlds coexisting and intertwining. A place where a walk started on a bustling urban sidewalk can suddenly transition to a thick forest. Hiking trails which blend natural beauty with views of architectural splendor.
We're in Sai Kung, which is known as the back garden of Hong Kong. If you want to know what this area looked like before Homo sapiens arrived, this will give you a great idea. And it's still preserved to this day. It's a huge, beautiful, preserved area, which is fantastic for any outdoor enthusiast. Specifically, I'm headed to a cave which has an interesting legend surrounding it. I'll tell you more about that when we get there.
The boat putters towards the region's magnificent cliffs and lush islands. A King Kong world unfolds. Eventually, I swap out this clumsy boat for a more nimble but delicate craft. The plan is to get in for a tighter look at a remarkable series of sea caves. Whenever a hiker goes missing in China and they don't recover the body, they say they went to a place called Tingai, which is like the border between heaven and earth. If you've seen the series Lost, it's sort of like that lost island. It's like they've slipped into another dimension. It's a very comforting story for the parents and the loved ones, I imagine. Legend says if you go through this cave, you'll slip right into Tingai. So let's see if I can become like Jack Sawyer and get to a paradise in another dimension. If I'm not around for the next episode, that's what happened. Don't feel bad for me. I'll be eating mangoes right off the tree. I guess I didn't disappear into a space-time portal, but think about this. Literally every day we have opportunities to jump into an alternative future, into another dimension. Let's say a friend calls you and says, hey man, I'm thinking about checking out Barcelona, maybe look at apartments, see what the job scene is like. You want to come with me? You could say yes and jump into a Spanish future, or you could say, oh, I got to do some things, maybe I'll meet you there later, and you'll never have that opportunity because these windows, they don't stay open long. During our life, every day, windows open and they close. The question is, which ones are you going to jump through?
Back in the city, things are full of life and thriving. It's my last day and I plan to end it like I started, with a random walk about town looking for the serendipitous.
When you think of Michelin-rated establishments, you think of small bite-sized plates, white tablecloth, fancy silverware, but they actually come in all shapes and sizes, like this place.
I've stumbled into Mammy's Pancakes, a Michelin-rated joint selling egg puffs. No one knows the exact origin of these things. They've evolved into a variety of types, all extremely popular in Hong Kong. The puffs come out, are cooled, and then it's time to munch. Now, I've eaten a lot of fancy cuisine in Hong Kong, so before you begin to think Johnny is getting soft, I'm going to balance things out.
We got a cicada pupae. This is a silkworm pupae. Looks like a grasshopper. And that is a bamboo worm. If you think about it, a grasshopper is just eating grass. I mean, how much would you pay and how healthy would you feel just to get a shot of wheatgrass at a frou-frou juice shop? And here you've got a creature that's all they're eating. I mean, what's a pig or a cow or a sheep eating? Just one step up on the food chain. But a lot more crunchy and gratifying than a piece of grass. All right, the big kahuna, the cicada, here's looking at you. It's got a good texture, fairly flat, neutral taste. Hearty.
This is Yunnan Restaurant in San Po Kong. I trekked up here not just for the taste of exoskeletons, but also to share a perspective.
The UN published a report recommending the consumption of insects because the world will have projected 9 billion people in 2050. In order to accommodate this many people, we need a massive amount of food. Now, cows, livestock can only grow and be raised horizontally, and they take a lot of water, take a lot of land, and emit a lot of methane. Insects could be raised in a skyscraper. They could be raised vertically, take a lot less water, produce a lot less methane. It's a clean source of protein and a viable solution to meet the world's future food needs.
Admittedly, it would be hard to convince the world to get its protein from bugs. But if you'd like to help me push the trend, the door is open. And as my walk continues, serendipity strikes big time. What's going on here?
This is Ghost Month in China, which would make this the Hungry Ghost Festival. The idea is that this month, the lower realms have opened up and the ghosts, or the dead ancestors of all the people, have come back to Earth. They're hungry because specifically these are the spirits of people who did not get proper tribute and homage on their send-off. So now, to make up for it, they get entertainment, they get food, rituals, and ideally they will be appeased and not wreak any misfortune on the living.
Ghost festivals are happening all over the city, funded privately by proud neighborhoods.
At night, they'd have a performance here, which means the actors are probably back there at this point, not in crunch time. It'd be a good time to catch them. Let's see if we can go backstage and see what's going on before they get too busy. Backstage. Look at all the props. Yeah. Hats. A bunch of tents, which tells you the actors are probably from out of town, probably from mainland China. And they just stay here for the duration of the festival. And looks like makeup. Makeup. Put on the makeup? Yeah? I'm not sure what he wants exactly, but is there a role for a white guy in this thing? This reminds me a little of Kerala, India. We did something with Kathakali. No? Huh? But those guys knew I was coming. I'm not sure if this guy's just being generous or if he thinks I'm an actor here. It can't be a role for a Caucasian in this thing.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay, that's good. Shinjuku Nichome. I'm coming back, baby. What have I gotten myself into here? I think they're just having fun with me. But if they trot me out on stage, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. Song Tiu. Wang Ti. Song Dynasty. Song Tiu. Song Dynasty King. That's like that. That's commanding. Do it. Make it so. Like this. But like that. Go! Not sure what I'm gonna do now, but that was super cool. You know, sneaking backstage was a good idea. They saw the camera. People in performance are a fun bunch. I've been doing performance almost all my life, especially live theater. It's a real eccentric, real vigorous, lively bunch, and if you can get in with them, fun stuff like this happens. They think their art's serious, but they also know how to live life.
After those shenanigans, I stick around for the performance. The real actors get ready, the band warms up, and showtime!
You can see there's just a smattering of an audience and a terrible setup for the people in attendance. You got a van, you got barriers, but the truth is, it's not about the living. This is performed for the dead. Even if there was nobody here, they would still do this epic.
In fact, the artists are performing in Chiu-Chau, a provincial language which few people in Hong Kong understand. But the ghosts do.
Not sure I'm gonna sit through the whole thing, but it's cool to be here.
What an encouraging final scene. No matter how much money or outside influence pours into the territory, the people of Hong Kong
still prioritize their traditions, honor their elders, and hang on to their unique culture. Hong Kong has always been a confluence of trade and a hub of opportunity. Over the centuries, it's accumulated a treasure heap of wealth, culture, and curiosities. Within that stack, we find layers of humanity and the things we humans desire. Now, whether you're a wine collector, a sports car buyer, or a Jane trying to give it all away, we're all ultimately looking for the same thing. In Hong Kong, you can begin to find it. In Hong Kong,
You said you would give us credit.
we ran out of roll time. I mean, it's not up to me, it's like an editor decision. What do you...
That's just not good enough.
You know what? Screw you guys. No credit.
Get him.
Get him. Yeah, destroy you. I'm concussed.
Okay, you know what? I'll give you credit. You have a business card or something?
Yeah?
Yeah? Okay, got one too. Sorry about that. I mean, you know, production, you get... oh, yeah, sorry, it's mine. That's 2 minutes, yeah. Thanks, Ace. Can you share that one I just got?
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Thanks, yeah. Yeah, thanks a lot for your help. It's like, we'll be in touch.
Yeah.